You walk into the kitchen, barefoot on the cool tile. The sun's just peeking through the curtains. You pour yourself a glass of milk, maybe grab that same bowl of cereal you've had for years. It's peaceful, it's routine, and it feels safe. But here's the part no one talks about. That quiet morning, that healthy breakfast, might be the very thing nudging your blood pressure up, day after day, without a sound, no pain, no warning, just a silent climb, until something serious makes you stop and ask, what went wrong? And the truth is, you've done your best. You've taken your pills. You try to eat well, stay active, stay hopeful. But sometimes it still feels like your body is working against you. And no one ever told you that a few tiny habits, just everyday choices, could quietly be pushing your numbers in the wrong direction. In this video, I want to sit beside you, not as a doctor, not as a stranger, but as someone who understands. We'll walk through the 7 most common mistakes people over 55 make with their blood pressure. Not to scare you, but to help you see clearly. I'll show you what's happening inside your body, and the simple, doable steps you can take, starting today, to feel stronger, steadier, and more in control again. So take a deep breath. Let's begin. 1 small step for a stronger heart. 1. When you feel fine. Until you don't. You pour yourself a glass of low-fat milk, just like you've done for decades. It's part of your morning routine. A few sips with your cereal, maybe a slice of toast. You feel fine. Maybe a little bloated after breakfast, but nothing too serious. Just a normal day. But then you notice your ankles feel a little swollen. You feel sluggish even though you slept well. And when you check your blood pressure that afternoon, it's higher than usual. Again. So what's going on? The truth is, high blood pressure rarely feels like anything until it's too late. That's why it's called the silent killer. There's no pain, no obvious symptoms, and that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. You can feel okay while your body is under quiet strain. Let's talk about what's really happening inside. As we age, our blood vessels naturally become stiffer. Our kidneys less efficient at filtering sodium and fluids. That means even everyday foods like milk, bread, or cereal can slowly raise blood pressure if they're high in sodium, sugar, or hidden additives. And that healthy milk? Some brands, especially flavored or shelf-stable types, contain added salt or preservatives you wouldn't expect. In fact, research shows that even small amounts of hidden sodium can raise blood pressure in older adults more than it would in younger people. So what can you do? Start reading nutrition labels. Look for milk or plant-based alternatives that say unsweetened, no added sodium, less than 140 milligrams of sodium per serving. Better yet, switch to plain almond milk or oat milk with clean ingredients, and avoid those low-fat but flavored milks that sneak in extra sugars and stabilizers. These little swaps may not seem like much, but they reduce the daily pressure on your heart. Literally. And yet, even the healthiest plant-based milks may be hiding another quiet risk, one that most seniors never suspect. Let's take a closer look. In part 2, the pill you forget, the risk you don't see. It's Sunday morning. You're packing for a weekend trip to see the grandkids. You check your suitcase twice, grab your phone charger, your reading glasses, but forget one thing, your blood pressure pills. It's just 2 days, you think. I feel fine anyway. And that's the catch. Blood pressure doesn't spike with fireworks. It climbs slowly and silently when your medication schedule slips. Whether you miss a dose, take it late, or cut your pills in half to make them last longer, those little changes add up inside your body in ways you can't feel until it's too late. Here's what's happening beneath the surface. Blood pressure medications are carefully designed to maintain a steady effect in your bloodstream. When you skip a dose, your levels drop. When you double up the next day, they surge. This roller coaster confuses your system. It stresses your heart, stiffens your arteries, and raises your risk of stroke, kidney damage, or heart failure. According to the CDC, nearly 1 in 3 adults over 65 don't take their meds exactly as prescribed, and many don't even realize it's dangerous. Real talk. Why does this happen? Because you feel okay. Because it's hard to remember. Because sometimes the side effects are annoying. Or maybe because you just don't like the idea of relying on a pill. You're not alone. But your heart doesn't care whether you feel fine. It needs consistency. Not perfection, but steady care. What can you do starting today? Use a simple pill organizer, one with compartments for morning and night. Set a daily alarm on your phone. You don't have to remember. Let it do the work. Keep a checklist or use a medication app like MediSafe or MyTherapy. It's free, easy to use, and helps you track. Talk to your doctor if you're experiencing side effects. Don't stop on your own. There are always options. And if cost is the issue, ask about generic alternatives or pharmacy savings plans. Your health is worth that conversation. Remember, that pill isn't just lowering a number. It's protecting your brain, your kidneys, your heart, your whole life. One small pill, one big promise. But even with perfect medication habits, there's one everyday health food that might still be pushing your pressure higher without you knowing it. Let's uncover it. Next. 3. The salt you don't taste, but still eat every day it's lunchtime. You heat up a bowl of canned soup, toss together a quick turkey sandwich, and finish with a few whole grain crackers because you're trying to eat better. There's no salt shaker in sight. And yet, by the end of the meal, you've quietly consumed over 1,500 milligrams of sodium. You didn't taste it, but your heart felt every bit of it. Here's the hidden truth. Most seniors think they've cut back on salt just because they don't sprinkle it on their food. But more than 70% of the sodium we consume doesn't come from the shaker. It's already inside the foods we eat every day. It hides in your bread, your salad dressing, your so-called healthy veggie soup, even in breakfast cereal and plant-based milk. Why does this matter more after 55? As we age, our kidneys lose some of their ability to flush out extra sodium. That means even a little too much salt stays longer in your system, pulling in water, increasing blood volume, and raising your blood pressure silently. Over time, this extra strain stiffens arteries, damages the heart muscle, and increases your risk of stroke or heart failure without a single symptom. Here's what research shows. A single serving of canned soup can contain 200 milligrams of sodium. A slice of deli turkey, 400 milligrams. 2 tablespoons of light salad dressing, another 250 to 300 milligrams. It adds up fast. And the worst part? It's in the foods we trust. So what can you do? Starting today, read nutrition labels. Look for low sodium, 140 milligrams or less per serving, or no salt added. Rinse canned beans and veggies before cooking. This cuts up to 40% of the sodium. Cook at home more often. using fresh ingredients and herbs like garlic, lemon, and rosemary instead of salt. Swap out processed snacks for whole fruits, unsalted nuts, or air-popped popcorn. These changes don't require fancy diets, just a little more attention to what's already on your plate. And if you've been eating these hidden salts for years, don't worry, your taste buds can relearn. Within just 2 to 3 weeks, you'll begin to notice the real flavors of food again. And those overly salty items, they'll start to taste too salty. But salt isn't the only silent trigger. There's something even quieter, something that doesn't come from your fork or spoon, but from the thoughts that never seem to turn off. Let's talk about stress and how it may be raising your blood pressure more than anything on your plate. 4. The stress that never shouts, but never leaves. It's 3:17 a.m. You're lying in bed, eyes open, listening to the hum of the refrigerator. No pain, no panic, just a quiet heaviness in your chest and a mind that won't turn off. You're thinking about your daughter's health, or the bills next week, or how your body just doesn't feel like it used to. You wouldn't call it stress, but your body knows. Your heart knows. Here's the hidden danger. Stress doesn't always come in loud crashes. Sometimes it's a whisper. Tight shoulders, shallow breathing, fatigue that coffee doesn't fix. And while most people think stress is just mental, it actually creates very real physical changes. What's really happening inside your body? When you're under stress, whether you notice it or not, your brain signals your body to enter fight or flight mode. It releases hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, which tighten your blood vessels, speed up your heart rate, and raise your blood pressure. In small bursts, that's okay. But when this becomes your daily background noise, it's like driving with your foot, lightly pressing the gas pedal, all the time. And over months or years, that silent pressure wears down your heart and arteries, even if your life seems calm on the outside. Did you know? A study from the American Heart Association found that chronic stress can raise systolic blood pressure by 10 to 15 points, even in people who eat well and exercise. And older adults are more vulnerable because the body becomes less efficient at calming itself down. So how can you begin to let stress go? Gently. You don't need a retreat or a guru. You just need a few simple practices you can do from home. Start your morning with 3 minutes of deep breathing. Inhale 4 seconds, hold 4, exhale 4. Take a slow walk in nature, even just around the block. Write down one thing you're grateful for each day. Turn off the news for an hour and listen to calming music instead. Even 10 minutes of calm each day helps lower cortisol and ease your blood pressure. Think of it like brushing your teeth, but for your heart. And remember, you don't have to fix everything at once. Just start by making space for a little more quiet, a little more breath, a little more care. But while stress tightens your blood vessels, there's another silent threat that weakens your heart in a different way. It's not what you feel, it's what you don't do. Let's talk about movement and how being too still for too long could be making your blood pressure worse. 5. The chair that's slowly raising your blood pressure. It's late afternoon. You sink into your favorite chair, remote in one hand, newspaper in the other. The sun dips low outside, and before you know it, 2 hours have passed. You haven't moved. Your legs feel heavy. Your back is a little stiff. You tell yourself, I've earned this rest, and you have. But here's the part no one warned you about. Too much rest can quietly raise your blood pressure. Let's break it down. When you sit for long periods, especially without moving, your blood flow slows, your heart becomes less efficient, and over time, your arteries start to stiffen. Your body was designed to move gently, regularly, naturally. Without that movement, it starts sending signals that something's off, not in pain, but in pressure. What happens inside? Your calf muscles act like little pumps. Every time you walk, they help push blood back to your heart. But when you sit too long, especially with your legs down, blood pools in your lower body. Your heart has to work harder to circulate it. And slowly, your blood pressure begins to climb. A study from the Journal of Hypertension found that adults over 60 who sit more than 8 hours a day have significantly higher systolic pressure, even if they take medication and eat well. Sound familiar? Many seniors spend hours watching TV, reading, knitting, or working on puzzles. These are joyful, peaceful activities, but without short breaks to move, they come at a quiet cost. What can you do starting now? You don't need a gym or a treadmill, just a few easy habits. Set a timer for every 30, 60 minutes. When it rings, stand up and walk to the kitchen. Stretch or march in place for 1 minute. Keep a small resistance band by your chair. Do light arm or leg exercises during commercials. Try movement stacking. Do a few heel raises while brushing your teeth, shoulder rolls while waiting for coffee, or toe taps during phone calls. Track your sit time like you track steps. Awareness leads to action, because every time you get up and move, even for just a minute, you're giving your heart a break, your vessels a stretch, and your blood pressure a reason to stay balanced. But while lack of movement quietly raises your blood pressure, there are 2 other habits, seemingly harmless, even comforting, that could be pushing your numbers up even faster. Let's talk about caffeine and alcohol, and what too much of a good thing might be doing to your heart. 6. 1 more cup, too much, it's a quiet morning. You're sitting by the window with your first cup of coffee, steam rising, birds singing, that warmth in your hands, that familiar smell. It feels like comfort, like routine, like home. Later that evening, you enjoy a glass of red wine with dinner. You've heard it's good for the heart. And maybe it is, in moderation. But what if these little pleasures are gently pushing your blood pressure higher every day? Not dramatically, not immediately, but quietly, just like the condition itself. Let's look inside your body. Caffeine is a stimulant. It narrows your blood vessels and speeds up your heart rate. For some people, the effect is small. But for others, especially those with heightened sensitivity or pre-existing hypertension, even 1 cup can raise blood pressure by 10 to 15 points for several hours. And alcohol? It might relax you at first, but in larger or regular doses, it increases blood pressure, disrupts sleep, and interferes with medications designed to lower your numbers. Your body processes alcohol more slowly as you age, which means those effects last longer than they used to. Here's what the research says. The American Heart Association notes that drinking more than 1 alcoholic drink per day can raise blood pressure. A study in Hypertension Journal found that caffeine-sensitive adults had significant BP spikes after a single cup of coffee. And combining alcohol with blood pressure medication can increase the risk of dizziness, confusion, and liver strain. You might not feel these effects today, but your numbers and your heart keep the score. Here's what you can do, gently and mindfully. Check your blood pressure before and after coffee. If it jumps more than 10 points, consider switching to half-caff or herbal teas. Replace evening wine with something calming and heart-friendly. Chamomile tea, warm lemon water, or sparkling water with fresh fruit. Limit alcohol to no more than 1 drink per day, and try not to drink every day. Never take your medication with alcohol. Space them several hours apart, and talk to your doctor if unsure. It's not about restriction, it's about intention. You can still enjoy your rituals, just with a little more awareness and care. Because your heart doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs you to be consistent and kind to it. But even if you do everything right, eat well, move often, watch your habits, there's one thing that could still be holding you back. Not talking to your doctor when something changes. Let's explore how simple communication could save your life. 7. The doctor doesn't know. Because you don't tell them you're sitting in the exam room. The doctor asks, "How have you been feeling?" You smile politely, shrug and say, "Oh, about the same." You don't mention the dizziness last week, or the fact that your ankles have been a little more swollen, or that you've been cutting your pills in half to make them last longer. You figure it's not a big deal. You don't want to complain. You don't want to be a burden. But here's the truth. If you don't tell your doctor what's really going on, they're flying blind. Let's be honest. Doctors are not mind readers. They only see you for a few minutes, a few times a year. And if they don't know about your side effects, your new supplements, your missed doses, your home blood pressure readings, they can't help you make better choices, or adjust your medications, or prevent something worse from happening. Why does this matter so much? Because blood pressure isn't static. It changes with stress, diet, sleep, movement, other medications, even the seasons. And if your doctor only sees a single reading from your visit, they might miss the real story that's unfolding at home. A national study found that nearly 40% of seniors who stopped taking a prescription never told their doctor. Many were afraid of seeming difficult or didn't think their symptoms mattered. But silence can be costly, and one short conversation could change everything. Here's what you can do, starting now. Bring a log of your home blood pressure readings to each appointment. Use paper, a phone app, or even photos. Write down any new symptoms or side effects, even if they seem minor. Tell your doctor if you've changed anything. Diet, exercise, supplements, over-the-counter meds. Ask questions. No concern is too small if it affects your health. Use patient portals if available. Send a message between visits when something feels off. Doctors are not here to judge you. They're here to partner with you, and the more they know, the better they can help. Remember, your health isn't a solo project. It's a collaboration. And staying quiet, out of politeness or fear, might be the most dangerous habit of all. Now that we've uncovered the 7 quiet habits that raise your blood pressure, let's step back for a moment. Because this journey isn't just about numbers, it's about your life. Let's put the whole picture together in one final reflection. 8. Your blood pressure is a mirror of your life. You sit at the kitchen table, the morning light warming your hands. Your blood pressure cuff wraps around your arm, just like it did yesterday. The number flashes. You write it down. But today, you pause, because suddenly, that number doesn't feel like just a number. It feels like a reflection, a mirror of how you've been living. Your blood pressure tells a quiet story. How you slept last night, how you moved or didn't, what you ate, what you felt, what you carried in your body and in your heart. It reflects the way your days are shaped, not just by age or genetics, but by small choices, repeated over time. And the good news? That means you have more power than you think. You don't need a perfect diet. You don't need to run marathons. You don't need to give up every joy in life. But you do need awareness. You need to know that skipping a pill, eating a little too much salt, sitting a little too long, ignoring a little too much stress, those things add up. And just the same, so do the positive things. Every short walk, every deep breath, every quiet moment of care. They matter. So here's your gentle invitation. Don't try to change everything at once. Just pick one habit, one small, loving action, and start there. Maybe it's switching to low-sodium soup. Maybe it's setting a reminder to take your meds. Maybe it's telling your doctor how you really feel. Maybe it's standing up every 30 minutes. Whatever it is, choose it with care. Do it with kindness, and let it build something steady inside you. Because in the end, blood pressure isn't just a number. It's a sign of how you're treating the most important person in your life. You. And when you take care of that person, you don't just lower a number. You raise your strength. You raise your peace. You raise your life. If this video helped you, hit the like button, subscribe to Holistic Seniors, and share it with someone you love. Because small steps are easier when we walk them together. One heartbeat at a time. One habit at a time. Let's keep going. Together.